Hi, everyone. This is Sheila and Rick, and we're going to talk to you today about avoiding the yo-yo diet mentality. I've sent some of you an email, and on our Facebook page, I posted something, but I'm going to bring it up here that we can look at it together. So let me see if I can find it. Oh, boy. So I need to share my screen. We can do it. So alrighty. Tell me when you can see the screen, Rick.
I can see it.
Oh, cool. Okay. So what I like to think about is if we are in a rocking chair or if we're in a race car. So let's talk about the mentality that it's all about losing weight. That's what I'm thinking about. I want to lose weight. Sometimes it's something that we say, okay, I'm going to start on Monday and I'm going to go till Christmas and I'm going to be exactly perfect. Sometimes when we have a deadline like that and a starting and a stopping point, that's more a rocking chair kind of thinking. Or in the program, a lot of times if we are on the quick start program, we actually get into a mild state of ketosis, which we get into a fat burning state. And so if we eat off of our program, then what happens sometimes we get out of fat burn. And so when we're thinking about it, oh, well, I'm already out of fat burn, I'm going to have this and this and this and this. So if you're thinking like that, you're going to end up back and forth like a rocking chair. Okay. If you look at things that are really healthy, like an apple, and you think, oh, that's a bad thing. So then that's not healthy thinking. Or if you think of yourself, I'm cheating. Okay. And it kind of makes you think bad about yourself, and it's going to maybe cause you to go backwards. I can't exercise or I won't lose weight. If you think that I can't exercise, okay, or if you're always trying to solve problems, that's more likely that you're in that weight loss category. So if we want to focus on our health, we just are always on our program, which means I'm always thinking about healthy. Okay, I can eat everything or anything that I want. So what is it I really want and why? And so I've been thinking about, if we think of ourselves as this Ferrari, this little red sports car, if you had a really nice car, would you take good care of it? If you'd really sacrificed and saved up and got your dream car, would you put water in the gas tank? Would you go pour sugar in the gas tank, or would you only put fuel in it that you know would really benefit that car? So which is more important and valuable to us, really? A car or our body? Which is going to help us meet our goals and give us more joy in our lives? Really, it's not a car. It's our body. And so I've been thinking about that all day since I posted this little thing about the car. I've been thinking, do I love myself more than I would my car? Why do I put stuff in me that is fuel that I know is not going to take me to where I want to go? So when we have that intrinsic, inside motivation, rather than because I'm reporting to, when it's inside of us, that's an intrinsically motivated. So you're really thinking about what it is I really want. Mindfulness is, we'll talk about that too. You have the freedom to choose whatever you want. One bite isn't a trigger for binging. So you really could have one bite of somebody's something and it doesn't throw you off the deep end. And it's okay to have a bite. If you look around, people that are healthy, probably 90% of the time they are making healthy choices. And 10% or less of the time they're having a treat. But they're not having treats all day, and they're not having treats instead of their meals. They're making healthy choices. So posture exercise. So I think what that means is that we're doing something to move every day. We're having that part of our lifestyle. And instead of always solving problems, we're going to be creative. We're going to come up with ways that that we can create a life for ourselves. We're going to look ahead, and we're going to plan, and we're going to see and create a wonderful life for ourselves. So here's some of the things. We want to be mindful. So we're going to make good choices. We're going to decide when we eat, while we're doing those things. We're not thinking, I can't wait until I stop living this way. Instead, we're going to think, this is really, I feel great, and this is how I always want to feel. Okay, so number 2, I'm going to have Rick for a minute tell us how this has helped him. And number 2 is writing down your thoughts and how that helps you to be successful. So will you share that with us, Rick? I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute so we can see your face. Okay, I'm going to come back to that. So just a second. So number 3 is think what health means to you. It's not just a number on a scale. 4 is reminding yourself, I can eat whatever I want. It's always been the case. Now you know you can eat anything you want. What is it you really want? 5, try to learn something every day. And sometimes the person we learn from the most is ourselves. So if we find that we have eaten something that wouldn't be as healthy for us, like maybe you just had a hot fudge sundae, then you think, interesting. What is it? Why is it that I did that? What was it? Was I feeling bored? Was I lonely? Was I angry? Was I tired? Was I thirsty? Why did I really go for that something that's not the most healthy for me? Or sometimes it just tastes good. Okay, well, it tastes good. I want a few bites of that. But does that mean I have to have 3 helpings of it? Okay. But then you look and say, what is my feeling behind this? What was it like last time I did this? Do I have a pattern? Is there a pattern here? And so when you ask yourself questions, you will find answers. You're your best source of answers is right inside you. Okay. So, Rick, would you share with us about your blog and what you're doing with your blog?
Well, you asked me first about writing it down.
Yes, writing it down.
And I think before I started this blog, I've known all along the best thing to do is to write it down. Because do I want to stick it in my mouth if I have to write it down? Before that, if I'm not writing it down, if I'm not thinking about it much, I can eat mindlessly and eat from the time I get up till I go to bed mindlessly. And it doesn't always have to be good. It's just whatever happens to be close. It may not be what I want or what sounds good. It's just close, and it might satisfy an immediate need or feeling. But now that I've started my blog, it's kind of a conglomeration of a lot of things. It's got some recipes on there for healthy things that I like. It's got some jokes, some information, and it gives me a place to keep it so I can find it later. But it's also now, I've kept a food journal off and on for a long time, probably more off than on. But now that my food journal is out there for anybody to look at that looks at my blog, now I've got to keep it up every day. I've got to stop and think about it. And it's like, okay, do I want to write this down so everybody can see how what I'm eating, and it makes me more aware. If I write it down, it makes me more aware. It gives me an opportunity to go back and look at the day and go, you know what? Instead of having that, I could have had this. Or you know what? As I look through the day, it's like, I didn't make too bad of choices. I think yesterday, I don't know that I would call it a bad choice, is when we were out last night and stopped at Sonic, and I got a cherry limeade. I don't know that it was a bad choice. I probably could have made better choices and not stopped at all and just come home. But overall, as I've looked over the last couple of days since I started this food journal, my choices aren't that bad. I'm starting to make smarter choices and smarter amounts too, instead of just eating because I'm bored or I'm sitting in front of the TV or sitting at my computer. So it's helping.
That's great. And I think one of the good successes I've seen with clients, with myself, is instead of I don't know, when I was a student driver, taking driver's ed from, gosh, I'm trying to think what his name was at Weber High. He was the wrestling coach. And then he was my driver's ed teacher.
Was that Davies? Dave Davies?
It might have been Davy. No, because he was my history teacher. It seems like it was something like Sarlo, but I don't think it was Sarlo. Anyway, so he found that a habit I had is that where I turned to look over my shoulder to make a turn, my wheel would turn too. That was just the habit of where I looked is where I turned. And I think that kind of something I had to learn then in driving, to hold the wheel steady, and I can look, turn, but hold the wheel steady. Anyway, where I was going with that is, I don't know. There was some analogy how it fit into what you just said. Now I've lost it. Oh, how funny. Oh, I know what it is. Is that what we focus on sometimes is where we end up. Where we look is where we end up. And so if what we're looking at is focusing on all the things we don't want to do, like if we really are focusing on, I'm going to stop eating sweets. I'm going to stop eating white. And we're thinking all the times, I can't have pasta. I'm not going to have pasta. Guess what your thoughts are about? So instead, let's talk about what we are going to do. You know, I'm going to try to get 5 vegetables a day. And so you start filling with, here's what I want to accomplish. I'm going to drink this much water. I'm going to do this much movement, and start thinking about what I am going to do, not what I'm not going to do. I hope that makes sense.
It does.
And our healthy habits are based on that, are based on things we are going to do. Like we are going to drink water. We are going to sleep. We are going to be mindful. They're all positive based about what things we're going to do that are positive. So, I think what Rick's talking about is by writing down how he's doing, and then he's keeping his mind on those positive things he's doing, he can go back and realize how much he's accomplished. So that's good. And you are in that creative mode right now, Rick, you know, with your blogging and with everything you're doing. You're in that Ferrari race car column. And, you know, the race car thing is a good analogy, but for me, I like to think of myself as my trusty station wagon that's going to get me places and be functional and utility. I don't really need a body that's like a race car. I want a body that I can count on, that, you know, I think of myself as a station wagon too, that's an 8-passenger, you know, I've had a lot of kids. So, the sturdy, reliable that people can count on. And I want to be that sturdy, reliable person that people can count on for years and years and years to come. So it's not to me about the flash of what color paint, that I'm a red sports car. I want to be the utility vehicle that gets people to where they need to be and gets myself to where I want to be. So it might be fun to, on our site, to talk about what we envision ourselves as if we were going to be a car, you know, what you see yourself as. And there, we might have some flashy red sports cars here. So what kind of car do you picture yourself as, Rick? Have you ever thought about that?
Mine would have to be a truck. I'm not a car guy. I'm a truck guy. Okay.
So you'd be a truck. And so you need to think about, maybe even instead of putting a picture, I worked with a guy that helped me with weightlifting. Gosh, I can't blank of what he's called. Anyway, that I paid every month to help me do weightlifting and help me lose weight. And so I was working out 2 hours a day. And when I quit working out 2 hours a day, I gained a lot of my weight back. So I found I need to have the balance. It needs to be with what I'm eating and when, and my movement. So, he had the idea that you get a picture of your face and you paste it on a person's body that's your ideal body and have that you look at. But I'd almost be more motivated by a picture of a car in front of me that I want to, you know, instead of this body that would never be realistic for me. So when he asked me to do that, what I did is I actually went back and got a picture of myself from my younger, healthier years. And that's what I had as where I want to be. I want to be healthy like I was when I was younger. So I don't want to be somebody else that's not me. I just want to be the best me. That's what I want to be. So that's the thing this week for everybody to do is I'm going to show you here my vision board. I'm taking my camera. Whoops. Right here by the side. Oops. See if I can see. There There's my vision board that's right there by my desk that I've put pictures of and words that help me think of being my highest and best self. So I don't know if any of you have ever thought about that, doing a little poster or something that can motivate you to be right close by you that will help remind you of what your goals are. So that's my assignment to everybody this week, is a picture of themselves or of a car that they can think about being, or some kind of vision board. And I would like you, once you've done it, take a picture of that and post it on our Facebook page. Either a picture of a car that you want to think about that you're like, or a picture of yourself when you were healthy, or you can paste your face on somebody else's body if that works for you. That's the thing. I don't think there's a right way and a wrong way. I think the right way is whatever works best for you, really, and keeps you motivated. And sometimes, just like kids with a checklist and they put a star on the chart if they've done their chores, sometimes those star charts only last and only work for 10 days or a month. And then you have to come up with a new motivation. We have to do that with us too. Come up with something new. Okay. So, any last words from you, Rick?
Nothing from me. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. And have another great week. And avoid those yo-yo thoughts. Be aware and think of your mind moving forward, not back and forth like a rocket.